This day 1573 of the Arukh HaShulchan Yomi. Today we're doing your Adeh Siman Shin your test Sif Aleph to Siman Shin Chaf Sif Hey. Shin test Din Chituch Ever Me Bechor, the halach of cutting off a limb from the Bechor, but yes, Din Bechor, and other laws of the Bechor. Aleph Shanochal Mishulchan Mishulchan Bakar Samachshaled. If a cow is giving birth the first time and have difficulty giving birth, you cut limb by limb of the fetus and toss it to the dogs. The kol kamel enough group, as long as the majority of the fetus is not emerged, low kaddish is not consecrated. That's Rashi. Yotzeruba, the majority comes out achas as one, and then you have to cut it up. Apparently, you have to save the mother. Harezi kover, you have to bury the fetus because it has kedusha. But it's example of chora. But the reason why it has to be buried shouldn't be tzir sarov when the majority of the fetus came out chora kedusha love the sanctity devolved upon it. The Kohen Be'er Chevrolet, it falls category of that which is born for him test vav test. The subsequent animal comes out. It's not a bechor ben shiatzer rishon ever. Whether the first one came out limb by limb ben shiatzer rov kachas, or the majority came out of at once. Because the second, the next animal does not open the womb. La peterechmu. That which you cut from the majority and on, so kvura requires burial. Aval, but mashachatach ever adrubo, but limbs you cut off until the majority comes out, answer kvura, they don't require burial. Av shem lefanenu, even there in front of us. Interesting. Kvura from the majority and on requires burial. Av shakodim, even though what came out previously you threw to the dogs. That is Taisus. And Daf Hayin. Well, it can't be in Chulin. Okay, clothing mills, the general principle is we don't say that after the limbs have been assembled by them being cut off, and you have most of the, once you have the majority of the fetus, Tiskash Mafea becomes consecrated retroactively. All the limbs, have their soon from us require burial. No, we don't say this. Our position is that it becomes holy from here and on after the majority comes out. Not retroactively. Moshe Mishpuk the Bazaar and show the Machlokes and the Gemara see there. Based on Mashita Ches said the Rambam was not approached, shockingly enough. This is what he says about Kes Hamakshal late for an animal giving birth for the first time, having difficulty giving birth. You can cut that limb, the dogs, and then the next animal is going to be the chor. Yotzu, but the majority comes out. Harezi kaver, then that animal is buried into the bechor. It's exempt from bechora. V'chotach ever v'nicho, you cut off limb and left it, limb and left it. Actually, shimu to him, the majority are cut off tzichem kvura. They all had to be buried. And if thrown bechora, but it's exempt from bechora. Came with yotzu rubo. Once the majority comes out, ben sholim ben bechuta, whether it's whole or cut up, arehem lefanenu, and they are in front of us. Niskash, my friend, comes kadosh retroactively. The argues in two accounts. First of all, if you gave each limb as it came out to the dogs, you are not that aborted fetus is not exempt from bechora. It's not considered as if it was ever born. Ain't no pet the rechem, it did not open the womb. The next animal is the bechor. But the second aspect is the if the limbs are all in front of us, when the majority comes out, they niskachu in front of my then limbs come kadosh retroactively. The pasuk comes out in the Gemara, he passes like the other opinion of the Gemara, the mafreya who doesn't come retroactively. They show the first opinion. Steve Aleph with Rashi. What's the opinion of Rashi? But Taisus, Varosh, Vator, Shonach Chavush Teadeos. Ayin Shon brings out both opinions. Gimel. The third of the fetus comes out, and he sold to a goy, Shadayin in a kodesh, because it's still not holy. And then the second third came out. The Rambam, according to Rambam, the Mafreya kodesh becomes kodesh retroactively. This Kaddish Gamal Shlish Harishon, the first third, also becomes consecrated retroactively. But in the kuti, you can't give it to the goy. The rak b'chor ba'amum mutar af l'kuti, only a b'chor, which is a ba'amum, is permitted even for non-Jew. Because it says it's like a deer or like a mountain goat. Tesvav Chabetz. Avalo b'chor tam, but not a unblemished b'chor. Avshin as a treifa, even though it becomes a treifa. Lo krebi, it's not called like a ram or a mount. Okay, but you treifa, since it's treifa of us Yisrael, never came permitted to a Jew. It's not like a deer or a mount goat. Therefore, it has the halacha of an unblemished b'chor. Means the right benefit from it. The tongue for must be buried. Rashi, that's the Rosh. Whoever according to Rashi, that's the Rosh, who we saw hold that it's colors from here on in. The first third was permitted. So you know what? I was wrong. You don't sell the whole b'chor. It's not that it's the whole b'chor. You saw the first third. First third came out, and he sold it, and then the second third came out. So according to the opinion, that becomes kosher mafreya. Obviously, the first third sale is null and void. According to the opinion, it becomes kosher mekano. The sale of the first third was valid. That dead meat can be eaten by the kuti. Similarly, if the first third came out by cesarean, it doesn't have kedusha b'chor. And 2/3 derech rechem, the next 2/3 came out through the womb. And the kedusha devolves upon it with the middle third, which is the majority of the animal. The Rambam does the beside mafreya. According to Rambam, we go retroactively. Eino kadosh. It's not holy. Because from the majority, which is suitable to become holy, Yotze Iker Derech Dofen. Mostly came out through the cesarean. So that when you get to the majority, a little bit more than half, have a Rubo Shilzeh Rov Derech Dofen. Majority came out through the cesarean. Fascinating. Rashi Tais is going to Varosh. The first third doesn't count at all. And the next 2/3 came out there. Now that's a fascinating halacha. And most of the fetus came out, but in this majority, you have one limb of which only a minority came out. The most of the limb is still inside. And if we join this minority with the majority, which is inside, lo be a majority on the outside. Nevertheless, consider as if it's born and we lump the minority of that limb together with the majority which is on the outside, below not with the majority of its own self, which is still on the inside. Also, now to a non-Jew, it's also to have any benefit from it. And it exempts the animal which comes out of it from chayra. By the time and the reason we don't jettison the majority of the animal to go after the majority of the limb, etc. Because some else siman yudal and shamas in simidal, which we not learn. Half of the fetus got out. And within that half, there's a majority of one of the limbs. In the manner that if we take the majority of this limb, which is already outside, and add to it the minority, which is still inside, we'll have now the majority of the fetus outside. Have a bayik question. If we join the minority, which is still inside, that which is outside, if not, I raise a suffix there. If it's a suffix, also not allowed to sell to a non-Jew. Also, not allowed to have any other benefit from it. Because the Rambam writes that the animal which comes afterwards is a suffix b'chor. And Shamachain because of a Torah to write the same thing. Can also mean to say but the second half not come out through the womb, but rather derech hadofin through the cesarean. Because if the second part also came out through the womb, second half came out through the womb. Why is it next time was b'chor? I feel a Rambam, even according to Rambam, when the pieces are in front of us, the one which comes afterwards is exempt. Okay, longish brackets here. Ayin shach tzarchim here. Let's start lamar mashkosav b'sivkot nebes. Mar b'chad achuli kamnas echil klavim. Shmakim b'reyos b'noah. Okay, so I'm not sure what he's saying about the shach, but now with Arukh Eger, he says the Hada Kodesh Mafreya, which is Kodesh retroactively, Zedavka Mashiach Sechutz Lo Mashivnim, only goes to what's out on the outside, now what's inside. It's allowed to put a mum into Bukhara while it's still inside. And so Marsha Sham, Marsha also writes that. Okay, so we also writes him Nefel, if it's not a miscarriage, Ozachtoch, a very now to cut off a limb. You can make the mum Kachim, it's called putting a mum into Kachim, came in Rafael Kach, it's Kach actually. Loche Masha Tesis, obviously it's not, it doesn't seem that way from Tesis there. Suga Viduk, Ein Sham Duk. Everybody is required to set aside the bechor of their kosher animal and the laws of the partnership of a non-Jew. Everybody is required to set aside bechor be'em Torah. Kohen and Levi Yisraelim, Kohen and Levi Yisrael. Levi Kohen and Levi mark bechor Adam. Kohen and Levi are only exempt from the bechor of a human being, but the chamor and the firstborn donkey. Was not raised in Shimon. Not from the bechor of a kosher animal. Pasha Tavis Levi knows some bechor be'em to the Kohen Kamo Yisrael. Levi has given the bechor of his animal to a Kohen just like Yisrael does. But a Kohen he gets to keep his bechor. His man has an hour they jumped into Jipo Mum. He wait till gets a mum. They can eat it. So on the Mikdash time, the base Mikdash Hamakil Mazbeach, he would sacrifice it to the altar. Chelbo, its fats, the damo, and its blood. Ubesar Varashlo, and its flesh and its hide would be his. The flesh should be also to Yisrael, Rak HaKoyim B'nei Beso, only the Kohen and members of his household, Ochel Yisrael B'Shleim, Yerushalayim, Kedinko, Kachim Kalim, like any other Kachim Kalim, any other Shlamim. It would seem that it's man of Mikdash, the time is Mikdash, Ein Tzach L'Asher B'Savi B'Chor L'Ashar Chipo B'Mum. You don't have to wait by V'Savi B'Chor until it gets a mum. And Makriv Shlamim, springing as regular Shlamim. When Yisrael knows that Chazav V'Shok L'Koyim, Mochlim out the Torah's B'Chor, and Yisrael, he gives the as a nor from any shlamim, you give the chest and the thigh to a kohen. And they eat as a bechor. It's ma'achilas shava. Well, you'd have to give all of it as a savi bechor to the kohen, but I guess the give the chazar shlamim as a din matnas kuna. I'm not sure what the rest of I can't eat because it's still savi bechor. It's ma'achilas shava shleimim b'layachon. The bechor is the time allocate time to be consumed. Same like regular shlamim, 2 days and 1 night. Kaname is umkaimen. So he rejects this anyway. Says you can't do this because the sprinkling of the bottom of his back is not equivalent. A shlomi requires 2 matanos, which are 4, because you put on the 2 corners of zech, which comes at the 4 sides. B'chor having matan achas and Hashem, and b'chor gives 1 sprinkling of blood, as it says in Ezim Koman. Based on Pashu, it's obvious the animals which belong even to a deaf mute, a person who is not in full possession of his faculties, and a child. So even though their owners are not required to fulfill mitzvahs. Nevertheless, the kedusha of bechor has to do with the animal, not the owner. I forgot that pasuk about Bailim. They'll see called Bechor Takdish, even though the pasuk does mention a role for the owner. It says, "Oh Bechor, you should consecrate Bechor Gomer. Chebamum Gomer has Zumut Center. B'Sharach Dolchenu. In your gates you shall eat of a Gomer." For in test of you test the Chabez. Come never exclusions of Bechor beBeima Toli. The kedusha of the Bechor has to do with the animal, below Bailim, not with the owner. You can see that it says Kadeshli called Bechor Pet called Bechor Peter Korachim Yisobadam Beimalihu. Consecrate to me any Bechor, the firstborn of the womb of among the Jews, whether it's by humans or animals, belongs to me. So the animals of Klai are consecrated. The collective animals of Klai were consecrated at there. Bechorah should be kadosh, and also including Klai Yisrael. Pshita Savi Shinash Chelas Mitzvah. Women are required to fulfill this mitzvah. It's not a time contingent mitzvah. Besides, we said that animals are consecrated themselves. So to a person whose gender is not known or has both genders is chai in this mitzvah. The general principle is any kosher animal. It's the firstborn is kodesh b'chora. and which is hefker. Interestingly, never don't find any place that says exempt from b'chayra. Ava b'tosefta parak beis the b'chayra. So first, behemoths have midbar part of b'chayra. It's explicitly the animal which comes to the desert, meaning is hefker is exempt from b'chayra. Zeh hefker. That is a hefker animal. Kimel behemoth shel shnei balabati. An animal belongs to two owners. Chavetz b'chayra. It's chavetz b'chayra. V'aglav b'si kol b'chayra b'vkarcha v'tzonecha. Says in your singular cattle and your singular sheep. Mashal seems like an individual. Velosh Shul is not a partnership. It says in the other pasuk that is very tesvav. In Dvarim Beis it says ubekaros b'karchem b'tzonchem in plural. Avil Shul is in partnership. V'od yachsi b'karcha tzonnecha. That's why it's saying in singular in the other parsha. Mutar Shul is as opposed to a partnership with a non-Jew. If the Jew is a partner with a non-Jew, but bema in an animal, we don't define this as a pet rechem neisol. Even if the non-Jew has a small percentage of the mother or the fetus, even only owns the non-Jew only owns the ear of the mother, or avlad, or the fetus. Shayach lo, that's all that belongs to him. To the animals exempt. Kadeshli kol bechor v'gomer b'nei, the totality of bechor which belongs to a Jew. If somebody else, a non-Jewish, has any portion, ain't a kol bechor, so it's not the totality of bechor. Chen says kol mignachati zachar peter shavaseh. The totality of your cattle. In other words, the totality must be yours. So in that an animal is not chayav b'chayra unless the entire fetus and the entire animal only belongs to a Jew, exclusively to a Jew. You should know the that would say that even only the ear belongs to the non-Jews exam. Is based on the who says how much is the partnership. Even an ear. Rashi kadosh. I'm not sure what the difference is. I see. It's not the totality of the year, even part of the year. It's potter. So they were saying lav dafka shkos no yeshakum. The whole year to be part of the long now. I feel even a part of the year. The mind of kingdom said, what difference does it make? Shouldn't make a difference. Still ownership. Brackets, it says, if Avsham Hashem Maskil of Nachman and Rav Nachman taxes name of Shkol as Chavazil, let's tell the guy, take your and go. Mashkol Hosen show it sounds like the totality of the year belongs to non-Jew. So if you have Maskil, the Chaim Gravuna, then let's supposed to come to that conclusion of the Gravuna, not like Nachman, it should have been a Kol B'chor, B'chom Miknecha, ain't that kingdom it causing me so it's no difference between the totality of the year part of it. That seems to be the opinion of Rashi or the Poiskin. Hey, Rambam. We can first say in the Rambam. Because it says, it was a partner in the cow or the fetus. I feel 1/1000 in the mother, or in the fetus. If it had one limb, such as a hand or a foot, a leg, we look at it at any time, that limb could be cut off. If it were to be cut off, the animal would be a balmum, raise the butt, it's exempt. If it was possible, however, to cut off the limb which belongs to non-Jew, won't make that a balmum, it's liable to cut kind of shana. How's it possible? The cut off limb won't be a balmum. Taitzi says, going to show you, yes, Etzba explains such that an extra finger on its Yod Raglo on its forelegs or its hind legs. But Etzba should not have a bone. High and chum. Before, this is difficult. Who compelled around and say this? Where to find this Gemara? But for an answer, you'll have to come back tomorrow.